All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carry for Lamar Miller. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Moving backwards on first down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on second down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a second and 11.
Come back. Two jet.
To throw on second is Watson. Flush to his right. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Black 99 Philly.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Black 99 Philly. Four down. Tiger. Come back.
Here's Watson now on second down. Underneath for Miller. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
To throw is Watson. And incomplete here on third down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. They'll try and run for the first time with Freeman. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action or stick something to him between the second and the third level.
And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 3rd and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. On fourth down, here's Matt Bosher on to punt. Back deep for the Texans, Will Fuller. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. That's taken on the 25. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole, because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Now he's going to throw deep right side. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin, and they will take over at the 26-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. There's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. The Clemson connection. Watson to Hopkins for a big one. 42 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Watson. They'll roll him out right. Caught here by Griffin. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. A little risky there when you roll out of that pocket right like he did. You complete the pass, but you don't get anything out of it.
But how many times have we seen when a quarterback exits out of the pocket, doesn't matter whether they go left or right, the defense loses its leverage, right? There's a little chaos back there. And receivers come open. Great discipline on that play. They didn't let that happen and held it to no gain.
Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. The Texans with a first opportunity now from the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
This is caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the...
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Deshaun Watson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans have taken the early lead. So with 2nd and goal, still had a couple of downs to work with. They tried to sneak, and they got in.
I like the idea that they did it early.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense, just to try and change their fortunes right now.
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. On 2nd down, Jackson escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Jackson, operating from the gun, forced out to his left. Now he'll let this one go, deep left side, and that is intercepted, or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently, so that's just going to be an incompletion. Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's pulled in at the 32. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession. Right, didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Bernardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see that.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Christian Covington in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Returnable here from the 38. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. Watson now to throw. He's letting this one go for Fuller. It's caught at the 10. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Watson hitting Fuller with a big one. 47 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll buy some time. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans will extend their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. He finds an opening past the 40 and all the way up to the 46. They knew they had the free play after the penalty. They get great yardage so they can decline that penalty.
And one of the things we've seen develop more and more in recent years are teams seeing that penalty occur and still taking the big shot downfield and hoping to gain the yardage as we just saw there. They practice it, they work on it, and this time they're successful.
Yeah, that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. From the gun, it's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Gun!
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. So 1:55 to go in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. And the pitch goes to Miller. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Reset! Richmond! Come back!
On 2nd down, here's Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Lamar Miller with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans will add on to their lead. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Now Jackson on second down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 43 yards. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, and that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football.
Give him 30 yards there. Now they got to get to the line quickly. From the gun, Jackson. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit. That is going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. J.J. Watt able to drop him for a loss of 4. 3rd and goal, Jackson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley in the final seconds of the first half. And the Falcons get a bit closer. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum.
And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Freeman fighting him off. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Now Jackson on first down. Steps away to his left. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A first down carry for Smith. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 16. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set them back for 2nd down.
4 down, 4 down. Mike 55, Mike 55. Hey, eat.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. They get 6 yards back on the run, but still have a 3rd and long situation forthcoming. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side of the field. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Now it's Jackson, flushed out right. He'll let it go deep for Freeman. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Buying time to his left. Looking downfield for Jones. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play on 3rd down for the Falcons. And even 40 yards. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson being chased out left. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off inside the 10. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Grady Jarrett able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. The Texans on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Now it's Watson. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
3-19.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. And my goodness, another interception. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing it.
Watson, flush to his right. That is incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. They have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now Watson. Dancing to his left. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will extend their lead even further. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
So out come the Falcons now. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, and then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Forced out to his left. And got his man complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 42 yards. Jackson on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Detroit! Hey, we got four. We got four down. We got it. Gun!
Jackson. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Falcons cut into that lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They've been pretty anemic on this side of the football in the second half, just 3 points, and you just saw the touchdown go the other way. So it's a 2-score game. We're not done here yet.
I think everyone's on the edge of their seats now because they're anticipating what's coming, and I sense that everyone in the stadium knows they need to keep it on the ground. So if you're going to do that, hope the quarterback is stretched a little bit. Some bootlegs, right? Some fakes inside, getting out to the perimeter. Those might be open for him.
Richmond.
To throw is Watson. To throw on second down. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down. The Texans on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Hasn't been his best afternoon on the ground, far from it, but a critical 3rd down conversion.
His afternoon just got better. All right, you're exactly right. It hasn't been his best in terms of yardage, but that run there, that's the one your teammates look to you and go, okay, that's what we want from you. That's what we need. Now they have a chance to keep moving forward and a chance to win the game.
And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
On second down, here's Miller. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Texans on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Miller will get it. He has been busy today. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's a give to Miller. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down.
Green the line! Green the line! Check right, check right. Watch it divide. Watch the slant, watch the slant.
Now a handoff to Miller. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down.
Down! Green the line! Green the line! Right there, look, 55. Woo-hoo!
Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty...
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
Here we go.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Jackson from the shotgun. Flushed out right. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And all the way down to the 37. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 42 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. Steps away to his left. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. Now it's Jackson eluding the pressure right. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. And we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. Jackson now looking to throw on 2nd down. Flush to his right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. A first throw for the backup, Ryan. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Ryan. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Andre Howe. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They'll run it again with Miller. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and it happened in the NFL. The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Texans, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again.